Here we are, race one of the theater-style finals for the 49er FX in Miami, Florida. World Cup of Sailing 2014. We're at 1:25 to go to the start in this battle for the 49er FX Championship.
Just 1:15 left here as we take a look at the scores.
In first place, Sarah and Julie from France, 58 points. They've got a very sizable lead that they pulled out from yesterday. And then we got a really tough battle through all the rest of the girls, really. Italians in second, Brazilian Martine Grail in third, Frances Peters in fourth, Jenna Hansen in fifth. Then the Brazilians, Swedes, Singapore, GBR 22, and Denmark 11.
Got a bit of yelling on the start line here. No girls electing for the port tack start at the moment, unless that GBR 22.
Looks like Charlotte Dobson and Sophie Ainsworth, GBR 22, are looking at the port tack option. No, they've flipped back onto starboard. And Juliana Semp from Brazil 198 trying to win the boat. Just looking for our leaders. Fourth up from the boat, from the pin.
We're under 15 seconds that way. Looks like it'll be a clean, safe start for most of these girls. We're under 10 now. 4 seconds.
That's the start. Clean start. Looks like Jenna Hansen, Denmark 136, has already had to tack away. Coming at us is GBR 22, Charlotte Dobson, along with teammate Frances Peters. The battle for the pin. Looking up the line, we've got the overall leaders in yellow. They're okay, Trevor. And then we've got second place overall, Julia Conti and Francesca Klapčić. They were in first place going in after the first race yesterday.
That's interesting. We've got an early hail from GBR 22 on her teammates. That was
yeah,
a very early hail.
A very early hail. I don't believe the judges have done anything about it, but that's not.
Well, you know, GBR 8 close to tack. That's their choice.
Here's the leaders. These two are really consistent sailors. Have only had one bad race all week in what was a very trying race. I don't believe, though, that they're going to be able to. Oh, Danes have kept the starboard advantage and attacked underneath. Eriksson and Klinga, along with Julia Conti. Tough spot there for the Swedes. So we got Jenna Hansen, Denmark 136 on the far side. She's just gone behind Frances Peters, brother of James Peters, who we saw win the last two races in the men, but she's crossed ahead of Charlotte Dobson. So she's a player in this race for sure. She's going to cross ahead of the French. And here's Martine Grail and Kaina Kunz. Martine and her Brazilian. Oh! We've got crew's been stuck on her wire. Skipper saves it, and they're back up and running. Will cost a couple boat lengths, but with the wind shift anyways, I think they're pretty deep. Tough break there for the Brazilians. Jenna Hansen, second place in this early cross. She's in fourth or fifth overall and decides to go back to the bulk of the fleet. Nice extension there from Katja, her crew, as they finish that tack. And it'll be a very tight cross with them and GBR. Second time we've seen the Italians get bounced to this ley line. Let's get up to the gain line here, Trevor, and see what happens as Jenna Hansen tries to cross the pack. Looks to me like it'll be very tight. Judges are right on it. She's wiggling up, do the barroway swivel, and I'd say she got it. I don't see any hails. Yes, we see a protest. We see a protest from the British crew. Green flag. I think that's fair. And that's the Danes going to take the lead in this race now. I didn't see what happened to Frances Peters, but she looked to me like she was well out in front and is now... Oh, Sarah Stearts had trouble with her tack as well. Just struggled to regain. So as bulk of the fleet heads towards the starboard ley line, there's an awful lot of simultaneous tacks from three of them. Jenna Hansen coming in to lead at this weather mark with an actual pretty sizable lead. Let's see if they make their bearway. Yeah, no problem. And then a tight pack with 6 boats all going around basically simultaneously. Charlotte Dobson's round in second. Frances Peters round in third. Looks like Sarah Steyart from France in fourth. Griselda Kung from Singapore in fifth. Ida Marie from Denmark, number 11 in sixth. Juliana Semp in seventh. Conti in eighth. Oh, that must be Martine Grail in ninth. And then Erickson in 10th. Tight battle here as they're all on the go straight mark round.
You see the breeze isn't quite as strong as the girls might like. You can see they're sort of 1.5 stringing at the moment.
The leaders here are actually double stringing. Maybe they've got a little better breeze off by themselves. They go for their jibe. They're already at the a little bit light. Might have been early on that jibe, but looks pretty good.
We're about 4.5 minutes into this race. Could be an exciting jibe right here. Got a couple boats that are going to simul jibe on us then.
Yeah, Singapore's got a great line out of this with everyone straight on their transoms. Eden Marie going for a slightly higher line. Juliana Semp going to the outside here, Brazil. But Singapore's going to do really nicely here. On the far side, we've got Sarah Steyart and Julie Bossard. They'll have the starboard advantage when they meet up with Singapore. Actually, they're jibing early, so maybe everyone's a little bit overstood. They're pretty heated up. Danes are around, and then French and... so that's Frances Peters has actually done well here. She's...
Martine Grail tacking or jibing on her countrywoman, Julia Sunford.
Both Brits rounding simultaneously in second and third.
And they're splitting tacks.
Followed by the Griselda King and Sarah Tan from Singapore, splitting tacks with the French. Really tight bunch here. This is great racing as they navigate through this leeward gate. Everyone alternating sides.
Side looks like it might be paying, and you see the Danish have tacked over to cover.
Yeah.
Don't let their competition get out right without them.
Yeah, you can see on the far side there, Frances Peters has gone to the far side. Danes look powered up, though. They look like they'll be fine to get back across. Coming at us is Charlotte Dobson. Ida and Marie from Denmark 11, have had a tougher regatta than they're used to. They cleaned up at almost every event last year, but as these teams have gotten more competitive and caught up to them a little bit, they've been finding themselves in more and more dogfights, especially in the lighter conditions. Dobson and Ainsworth. And here's Martine Grail and Kaina Kunz. We saw them struggle in the tack last time. We won't expect that from them again as they move through nicely.
Oh, another sloppy tack. Wow.
Yeah.
These girls traditionally are quite good in this medium breeze or this light medium breeze. I think just a little bit of frustration takes over at some point, Ben.
Yeah, they're definitely not happy with how they're sailing. They didn't get a great lane coming out of that spot either, and they're finding themselves near the back of the fleet, which will mean it's going to be really tough for them to keep their bronze medal position, especially considering Jena and Katja are sailing beautifully here in the lead. They'll be moving up the standings for sure after this race. The French have moved themselves backwards a little bit, which is surprising. They're down in 6th as we see Singapore sailing really nicely here. They'll put Dobson and Ainsworth under pressure for 3rd place in this rounding. Frances Peters has done really well. Frances Peters has really closed the gap here on the Danes, rounding only a boat length behind and a low set. We've seen this lane boundary is a little far outside where it is, and it isn't engaging that much on this lured, this first lured straight set. So the Danes will be under real pressure here to get a lane where they can jibe cleanly. You can see we saw the crews double trapping last time. Now the crews are sitting in as they soak low and try to get a position to jibe. This is the battle for the win, and both these two, a little bit of...
Yeah, that was a great move there by the Danish. Just take a bit of speed and a puff.
Yeah, Jenna Hansen's really feeling it right now. You can see the way she's moving her body, taking that puff.
Early jibe. They're trying to throw something at them, but
yeah,
a little too late here.
Frances
Danish have handled that so well.
Frances Peters had great position there, but then just couldn't keep the speed, and the Danes have managed to escape really nicely. I think we'll see them skate through to the finish here. Meanwhile, they're double trapping. Meanwhile, the Brits and everyone going to the far side, they're single trapping, so they must feel like they have better pressure, or maybe just carving a different line.
So it looks to me like British are going to be able to overtake Martine Grail for the bronze medal position.
Which ones are those? The
GBR8, I believe that's
Frances Peters. Yeah.
That's right.
So she'll leapfrog into third?
I believe so, yes. Things stay the way they are right now.
And Conti and Klepchich, they're at the back of the fleet as well. So the battle for second and third place will really tighten up after this race, as both Jenna Hansen and Frances Peters move up in the standings.
We'll have to take down these scores and we'll let you know how it worked out. That's for sure.
Yeah. We saw how tight it was on that windward mark rounding, and now the Danes have got a 50-meter lead. It looks like Charlotte Dobson's going to cross ahead of the Singapore team, but she's still got one more jibe to do. I'd say the boat looks favored to me for this finish. Frances Peters on a good puff coming in at the boat end. That's the finish. Jenna and Katja take that win. Frances Peters in second. Really tight battle here. Dobson and Ainsworth surge low at the finish line.
Right at the end, there's going to be a big battle.
I'd say Singapore got through ahead of Dobson, but I can't really tell. Eden Marie in fifth. And then we see, look at this, Martine Grail passes the whole bunch here to come in. Fifth for them. No, sixth for them. Conti, then France 871, Sarah and Julie. Tough race for them, followed by the Brazilians and the Swedes.
Things got really shaken up in that final downwind, even just that final jibe, man.
That final jibe, you're right, Trevor. A whole bunch happened in the second half of the fleet there, especially with our leaders. Sarah Sterrett hopefully doesn't come to rue those points she just gave up. And same with Julie Conti scored a couple, and so did Martine Grail. Here's our race winners, sitting with their coach, Peter Hansen, getting a couple words of advice and help from their teammates. You can see, and here's our scores. So to finish out the race, we've got France 871 still in a commanding lead. Italy, Giulia Conti in second place, tied on third place. We've got Brazil 12, Martine Grail, and Frances Peters, GBR 8, and then only 2 points farther back, Denmark 136. So it's all on for the for silver and bronze.